Hello and welcome to the Real and Complete Show podcast. I'm your host, Dee Adekugbe, aka Mama D. On today's show, why is it not okay to not be okay? Or is it okay to not be okay? Stay tuned as I share my story with you, coming up right after this song. John Lennon said everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end of the world. There is too much pressure from family, friends, social media, and society that are constantly bombarding us with information that indirectly tells us over and over again, it's not okay to not be okay. A few years ago, I received a phone call during a meeting that one of my sons was hurt playing soccer. I started crying in front of people because I felt helpless as a parent, far away in another province, unable to get to him and be there for him. I remember somebody saying to me, "Why are you crying? Don't you know who you are? You are a pastor. If you're crying, then what do you want us to do?" I was angry that my son was hurt and me crying was making that person feel uncomfortable. So I resolved to never cry in public again or show any emotion. Again, I remember my husband suffering a heart attack and was hospitalized for about 10 days. I had been with him in the hospital, not leaving his side. Then a friend came to stay with him so I could quickly go home, check on the children, get changed, and come back. When I got home, a few minutes later, there was a knock on the door. I ran down the stairs thinking the worst and flung the door open. And instead of my worst fears coming to pass, a friend stood there and immediately I started crying out of sheer relief. In shock, she said, "I didn't know you could cry like us. I thought you were an iron lady." I left her there, refused to answer, and just walked away. As leaders in any capacity, whether at home, at work, in the community, in church, or even as a professional, there is a certain expectation that you don't show emotion, that you compose yourself at all times and never let people see you cry or weak. Even boys are raised and told to never cry or show emotions and to always be strong. Yes, to some degree, I agree that as role models, we must demonstrate leadership and a lifestyle that others would want to emulate. But we must also be able to show our vulnerability, our transparency, whilst remaining strong and leading. Recently, a pastor committed suicide. So did a top medical director, a reality star, a mother, a teenager, a child. They have all taken their own lives in the last few months of this year because they were not okay, and nobody knew it or knew how to help them. Feeling sad or depressed, hurt or in pain, lonely or isolated can be tough, especially during this pandemic. And it does not make us weak or wrong or broken for having or showing these feelings and asking people for help. You see, by allowing others to feel what we feel can lead to actions and the support we need to make us better and stronger. In trying to stay strong, keep everything and everyone together, many people are dying internally and also externally because they are afraid to show their emotions so they would not be judged, be ridiculed, or talked about. But guess what? When we hide behind the veil that everything is okay, not only are we deceiving everyone around us, we are also deceiving ourselves. Too many people are living double lives. In public, they pretend and show us everything is good. And yet in private, their lives are falling apart. They can't sleep. They are fearful and anxious, and they find it hard to open up and talk about it. As a pastor, a leader, a mother, can I tell you that it is okay to not be okay, and to try and keep everything together, to be human and not care what society thinks of you. A long time ago, I gave myself permission to be human, to be transparent and honest with myself and those around me, because I did not want to die from mental illness caused by fears of how people would react if they knew or saw the real me. Today, with the increase in anxiety and uncertainty, give yourself a break and just be human, regardless of the outcome. Take off the mask and let people see you and be there for you, because it's okay to not be okay, even as a leader, as a parent, or as a friend. There are many things in my life that are not okay, and I've had to allow myself to sometimes cry, break down, seek help, and accept help. I've had to stop trying to be the pastor all the time and just be me around the people who love me and want to see me succeed. Bible tells us that Jesus was vulnerable and anxious in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he reached out and asked his disciples for help to watch and pray with him for 1 hour. Bible also tells us that he allowed people to see his vulnerability and emotions when he wept in front of them. His transparency moved everyone watching, because they saw that this was the same guy that healed so many and displayed great power, and yet he was emotional. Jesus tells us that no one is perfect except God. And if that is the case, why are so many of us pretending that everything is okay when in fact it is not? I'm not asking you to go around wearing your emotions on your sleeve or tell everyone your problems all the time. What I'm saying is, if you are not okay, let people know. And there is no shame in that. There is no shame or judgment in not being okay. There is no shame or judgment in being broken, being stuck in pain, hurting or lost, confused, or just plain tired and fed up. It's okay to not have all your ducks in a row and not always be perfect or in control or the life of the party, the one that keeps everyone laughing and happy. It's okay that there are days you can't get out of bed, or you want to, or leave the house, and you are too emotional, physically, mentally, and even spiritually not okay. It's okay to worry about your job, your mortgage payments, your future, and your health and your family. It's also okay to take time off to rest and do nothing. It's okay to not put pressure on yourself during this COVID-19 to accomplish something. It's okay to take time out and just rest and be still during this isolation period. Sometimes just doing nothing is okay. It's okay if all your friends or your younger siblings are getting married before you or having babies and you're still single. It's okay to be alone. It doesn't mean that you are alone or that you are lonely. It's okay that your child is still not potty trained, not speaking clearly, not walking, or that your house is a mess and you haven't showered or brushed your teeth all day. Guess what? It's okay that nobody likes your post on social media or follows you back or share what you have posted. It's okay for people to see your post and say nothing. Sometimes it's okay if you don't know where or what you want in life or where you're going. It's okay that you haven't figured out your life and everyone else seems to be going somewhere. Guess what? God is not finished with you. You are a work in progress, and so am I and every single person on this planet. And when Jesus returns, we shall be perfect like him. But for now, it's okay to not be okay. Take one day at a time. It's time to get rid of the things, the people, and the environment that is telling you it's not okay to not be okay. And remove the mask, remove the makeup, remove the coveralls, and be yourself. And trust God for your tomorrow, because he promises to make all things beautiful in its time. And guess what? Time is in God's hands. That is Hefzibah with Touch Me. If you like her music, please go on her YouTube page, subscribe, and support her. This is Dee Adekugbe, aka Mama D, being real and completely transparent with you that it's okay to not be okay. I want to hear from you. What do you think of today's podcast? What are your thoughts? Is it okay to not be okay? And are you struggling, or do you know someone who is not okay? Would you do me a favor and reach out and help them? Or you can contact me, because you are not alone. We are all in this pandemic together. Until next time, take care and stay safe.
Thank you for listening to the Real and Complete Show podcast with Dee Adekugbe, sponsored by All Women Ministry. For more information about All Women Ministry, please visit allwomen.ca. If you like the podcast, please subscribe and share to inspire others to action.